Hi everyone and welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about drawing and the importance of drawing. Now when I first started painting I didn't want to know about drawing. I didn't think I needed to learn about drawing, and yet when I went to art school and I learned how to see things, to draw, learn how to see, suddenly my paintings became so much better, and that's why I want to talk to you today about drawing. So when I went to art school, the very first thing that they talked to us about was looking at the form of things. And I'm thinking, well, I don't understand what this word form is. And so form simply is the three-dimensional shape of an object. Okay, so if I'm looking at very simple shapes, so they basically, rather than looking at the complexity of the different shapes of the objects that I'm looking at, so if I'm looking at trying to paint a face, it has a lot of stuff going on in there and it can get very, very confusing very, very quickly. What they get you to do is they get you to look at simple geometric shapes. And when I'm talking about geometric shapes, I'm talking about squares, circles, rectangles, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's first look at a square. All right, if I'm looking at a square and I put it onto my surface, get my pencil out and draw my square on my surface. If I just draw a simple square, it has no dimensionality to it. It has no shape to it. I need to start seeing the square with dimensionality. So I have to see that this square is made up of different planes. And someone first said to me, can you see the planes of an object? I was like, what's a plane? It's not a thing that's flying in the sky. In art terms, a plane is a flat surface, a surface that, or any type of surface. So the surface can tilt towards you, can tilt away from you, it has all these directions that can have, right? So when we simply look at a very simple square, this cube or square has sides, it has planes. So it has a top plane, it has side planes, see, two side planes, it has a front plane, it has an underplane, and it also has a back plane. So understanding that objects like this have planes, it helps us see them. Okay, so if I'm looking at this object directly on, this is what I would see. I would only see the front plane. But if my squared object suddenly turns slightly, I'm now not only seeing the front plane, I'm also seeing the side plane. And this is where we start looking at one-point perspective. So we're going to look at one-point perspective today as well. And one-point perspective is you have a single point on your horizon line. What's a horizon line? A horizon line is essentially your eye line, where you are looking at. Is it not the thing that's in the distance, like not the sea line or the horizon line in the seascape. It is where your eye line is. That is your horizon line. And everything that you are seeing is like everything you see is determined by that horizon line. So my horizon line is going to be different to your horizon line, mainly because you and I are different heights. Okay, so I'm fairly tall. I'm going to put my horizon line right in the middle of my square. So this is my horizon line, and at the moment all I'm seeing is that front plane. Now if I decide that no, I'm actually seeing more of the side plane, I'm going to put in a point along that horizon line, and I'm going to draw, I don't know if you see that point, but there's a point. I'm going to draw imaginary lines that vanish towards that point. Yeah? So, you can't see those. I'll put them in really, really dark. This no longer looks like my cube because obviously my cube has this other side here. So if I need to make sure, now I want to do is I want to actually create this line, and I can make this box very big or very small based on where I decide that line's going to be. So I'm going to say no, my side of my box is, or my cube is right here, and I can get rid of those other lines, and now I have a single point perspective on a cube that is directly in front of me. What if I have this cube up above me? I'm looking up at that cube. So again, I'm going to use the same line. I'm going to put a cube here, a square, sorry, not a cube. And I'm going to draw those imaginary lines again to that vanishing point. And I'm going to draw that other line to create the actual the underplane of that cube. What if I have a cube that's down, I'm looking down on it, okay? So down in perspective. So this is, again, I'm going to draw another square, draw those imaginary lines to that single vanishing point, draw the back of the box, and now I have 3 boxes, single point perspective, and they all have dimensionality. Now I can create more dimension by shading the sides of the boxes, okay? So I can say, okay, my light source is up over here and it's coming down onto my objects. So in this case, this side of this box is going to be in shadow. In this case, the light's going to hit here, but it's not going to hit here. This is going to be in shadow. Same thing, this is going to be an underplane that's in shadow because the light source is above it. And now I'm getting a feeling of 3-dimensionality for my objects. Okay, that's it for 1 point perspective, 1 point perspective for a cube. All right, see you guys. Bye.